What is going on, everybody? My name is Bearridge. Welcome back, episode number 14 of my Path to Power. In this episode, we're going to be showing you the first 15 games of the weekend league from the weekend just gone. As we go into the first game here, you'll have just seen the team that I was using for this weekend, and I'm going to talk a little bit about them and how well they played for me. I played them in a 4-3-3 in the second variation, so that's the one with the singular CDM, and the custom tactics I picked up from AirJapes. He did a video on them a couple of days back, so if you want to see those, go check that out. I am going to do a review on those custom tactics and give my thoughts on them and how they worked and what I would do if I were you and you wanted to copy them, because I had a lot of fun using them. They were very aggressive, and I would also say that they were very risky. They definitely left me open to a lot of counterattacks, left me very susceptible at the back, but it was a lot of fun playing. I think I scored a lot of really nice goals in these first 15 games. So sit back and enjoy them. Some of them are really nice. I managed to ping the ball around quite nicely and score some really nice link-up goals. And it was just a lot of fun having that ability to sort of pin my opponent back and dominate games. In pretty much every single game I played, I think I had more possession, I had more shots on target, and I think I had a higher pass percentage rate than I normally would as well. So I think that they definitely improved my performance this weekend. So I definitely recommend them. Now, the team itself, I started with Manuel Neuer in goal. I used him last weekend when I did my silver challenge with the German/Bundesliga team, and he was fantastic for me then. He does make the few odd mistakes, but I just think that's just FIFA goalkeepers in general. They're pretty rubbish. They just always let in these really weird goals, and there's not a lot you can do about it. So I think for the most part, I would recommend him. Fantastic goalkeeper. It's really good that he has all the stats that you'd need. The long throw and the extra boosting kicking is also really nice. The distribution can help, especially with counter-attack. So, yeah, I definitely recommend using him. Mukiele, I did actually use him at right back. I think he would definitely be a better centre-back. I didn't think that he had as much pace as his card shows. I used him with an anchor chemistry style so that I got the maximum boost there, and then also so that I got a good amount of strength and tackling. His card also has really decent dribbling stats, but I think because he's 6'2", it made him feel really clunky. So he did do a really good job for me out on the right hand side as the right back, but I think he would definitely be better suited as a centre-back. Laurent Koscielny was a player that I picked up just before this weekend league. I wanted my team to be interesting, and he looked like a really interesting card. He has really good pace, really good passing, good dribbling, nice defensive stats, nice physicality, 6'1", and the high-low work rates were really nice. So I decided to try him out. He was an absolute rock at the back. If you didn't pick him up, I would say that you missed out. He's a really, really nice card. He was paired up alongside Lucas Hernandez, who I cannot believe is only 1,000 coins. Absolutely fantastic player. Again, nice pace, good passing, good dribbling. I think if he was in the Premier League, he would definitely be about 40k. He is that good. The fact that he can play for the European champions and only be 1,000 coins is a bit shambolic, really. So, yeah, really nice centre-back. I would definitely recommend picking him up and using him. Rulebreaker's Kamara is who we used at left back. He has 4 less pace than his base gold card, but in return you get much, much better defensive stats and much better physicality, alongside better dribbling, better passing and better shooting. In this formation, I used my fullbacks on balanced. I didn't have them on stay back. I allowed them to support me in the attack, give a little bit of extra width and another option. At times it would almost transform into a 2-5-3, so very attacking. And he did an absolute job for me out at left back, and he was more than capable at recovering if he was caught out of position and stopping players down that right-hand side. I found most of my problems defensively actually came down Mukiele's side. So again, he's another player that I would definitely recommend. Then in the 4-3-3, I was using De Jong as the sole CDM with a shadow chemistry style. He gets 90 acceleration and 90 sprint speed. You cannot ask much more from a player in that position. The only way it really gets any better is if you start picking up players like Kante. He does almost everything that you could possibly ask for, the only letdown being his shooting. The 90 stamina means he's an absolute workhorse, and yeah, he's just incredible for me in that position. So I did find that actually even with the 90 stamina, I was having to take him off towards the end of games because he'd be dead, but that's just because of how much tackling he'd be doing. And because it was so attacking, he was having to run back quite a bit as well. My two centre mids were Rulebreaker's Andre and Wijnaldum. Rulebreaker's Andre, very nice card as well, has really nice dribbling stats, great defensive stats, and again, amazing physicality. 95 stamina on this guy. High work rates means he's up and down the pitch. With the shadow chemistry style, that gives him 82 pace, and that's really nice. Again, though, I would say as a box-to-box play, he doesn't work. I think having De Jong and Andre as a combo didn't quite work in general. I almost needed one of them and then another more attacking player, a different box-to-box player. Don't get me wrong, Andre did score his fair few goals and he was really good at driving the ball from deep and forward and then playing it off. But in the few occasions that he found himself in front of goal, he did miss more often than not. A player, though, that did not miss the target is Wijnaldum. He, for me, was absolutely incredible, and I can see why he is still so expensive. The high work rates meant that he got up and down the pitch constantly for me. 93 stamina was very nice. Out of the three, he's actually the slowest, but I didn't really notice a difference between the three, and I thought he was still an absolute beast. So if you're looking for a box-to-box player, I definitely recommend him. I did also use him in a 4-2-3-1 in Division 1 and played him as the cam. And in that formation, he scored a hat-trick on his debut for me. That just goes to show that the 75 shooting is a little bit of a lie. I did use him with a hunter in order to boost that pace and shooting, and it definitely worked. It was the right decision. He already has really good dribbling and passing, plus good physicality, so I didn't see much point in boosting much else. Over on the right wing, we have our 90 rated, untradeable Mohamed Salah. This guy is still an absolute beast for us. He's been absolutely incredible the entire time we've used him. He's so quick. He has fantastic shooting. He has amazing passing, and his dribbling is brilliant. 3-star weak foot is not a problem. He's still scored so many goals on his right foot. Because of how the weak foot stat is done this year, it effectively takes a percentage away from your shooting stats. So in theory, when he shoots on his right foot, his shooting stats should only be 60% of what they are on his left foot. And I think because they're so high, it really doesn't matter. He still smacks them straight into the back of the net. So yeah, he's excellent. I will say he's probably not worth 400,000 coins. If I didn't have him untradeable, I would have probably sold him, and I'd probably be happy using someone like Lucas on that right wing. The right wing probably isn't a desirable position for many people, so it probably isn't worth spending those coins to upgrade to someone like Salah unless you already have a massive budget. And I know that there are a lot of people on this year's game that are already quite rich, so if you can afford it, definitely go for it. But remember, there are cheaper alternatives that will do the same job for a lot less. Just quickly, just want to interject. Look at this free kick from Gareth Bale. He moves the keeper, so we decide to go across goal, try and put it into that top right-hand corner. We don't quite time it green, but what a finish from Bale. That's an incredible free kick, one of the best I've scored. On the left wing, I played Jonathan Bamba. And for someone that is only 17,000 coins, this guy is incredible. I use him with a hunter chemistry style, and I'm not sure that that was the best choice. But initially I had planned to use a mixture of formations, including the 4-1-2-1-2. And so he would have been playing up front in that formation. However, playing him on the wing, I'd probably recommend just using an engine chemistry style, boost that pace up, get the dribbling up, and get the passing up. The 4-star skills and the 4-star weak foot are really nice. He did score the majority of his goals cutting in off the left wing and finessing it into the top right-hand corner, but he was still able to score those across-shot goals if it was required of him. And then at striker, we were using the untradeable Informed Depay that we picked up. In the 4-3-3 second variation, we're playing the striker as a false 9, which means that the striker has to be able to do everything. He has really good pace that helps him break away. There's really good shooting, which allowed him to score in and outside the box. His passing was good enough that he could play in the wingers or the midfielders if they were making overlapping runs. His attacking positioning was really good, that it allowed him to drop into the space and find those passing options. So he was a really good player for us up top. His dribbling stats don't look that good, but I still found that they were actually quite nice and that he was very good at turning. I think the 5-star skill moves definitely helped him there. I'm not a massive skiller, but I did try and use the scoop turn as much as possible, and I managed to throw in a few elasticos as well. So they definitely help. If you are a good skiller, then I definitely recommend using him. 3-star weak foot does look like a problem, but I really don't feel like the weak foot is as important this year as it has been on previous games. On the bench, I had Florenzi. He was a player that I got untradeable. He came on pretty much every game, whether it was into CDM or at right back. Mukiele did tend to run out of stamina quite a lot, so he did play quite a lot of games at right back. I didn't find his 84 pace to be a problem, and I found that his creative abilities definitely made up for that lack of pace. So he was a very nice player to have as a substitute to bring on. I had Fred on the bench, but he didn't make a single appearance for me. I did use him in a previous weekend, and he was a decent player. So if you are new to the game, you've only just picked it up, he is a good player to use. But I do think that there are much, much better centre mids for around the same price in other leagues. One of those centre mids is Marcus Llorente. He actually only came on a few times for me as well, just because the midfield had such good stamina. I didn't really need to make those changes into the middle. In a few games, I did find that they did run out a little bit more than usual. So when he did come on, he was fantastic for me. Again, I have no idea how he's only 1,000 coins now. I picked him up for 18,000, and I still feel like that's a really good price for him. So if you're looking to build a La Liga squad, I definitely recommend putting him in it. Next, I have Talisca. He came on and played in the left centre mid position more often than not as a substitute for Wijnaldum. He was fantastic for me. I'd love to be able to get him into a team on full chemistry because on 5, he was phenomenal. There's a Footbin review that referred to him as a certified Ferrari, and I cannot agree more. So pacey, really, really nice dribbling, good shooting, nice passing, and fantastic physicality. In the first game of the weekend league, I brought him on off the bench and he scored a hat-trick. So I can't really ask for much more than that. I think he would play in that left centre mid role perfectly for me. He has 4-star weak foot, he has 4-star skill moves, and he has the outside the foot shot trait and the finesse shot trait. So everything you could really ask for from a midfielder. If you haven't picked him up yet, what are you doing? Get on it, pick him up, get him on your bench. For the wing positions, I had Promes and Bale. Promes did come on a few times. He's a really good player on this game. If you're on a low budget, definitely recommend using him. He won't let you down. The 5-star skill moves and the 4-star weak foot are really nice to have. He made a few appearances for me this weekend. Bale pretty much came on in every single game, but not on the wings. I actually played him at striker more often than not. I did that mainly because I needed a pace injection and I didn't think his shooting would be too bad. He did miss a few sitters for me, and I will put that down to the fact that he's probably on 5 chemistry. For a player that's only 20k though, really nice card. Definitely recommend him. If you're looking for a super sub and you have some coins that you are willing to spare, 20k is really not a lot in order to save you in a few games. He did come on and score a lot of goals for me as well, so he was really nice. And then the other player I had was Dominic Calvert-Lewin at striker. I think that I wasted coins doing him. I don't really enjoy him. I really didn't bring him on all that much, hence why I was playing Bale at striker. I just feel like he's not that quick, he's not that strong, and his 3-star skill moves and 3-star weak foot really let him down. So Calvert-Lewin didn't really make very many appearances. So that's the team. That's what I have been rocking with this weekend. Like I said, the next video that I post is going to be the formation review. In that video, I talk about why all of the custom tactics are what they are and why they work, how they work, what I liked about it, and why it worked for me this weekend. As you can see, I have scored quite a lot of goals and I've won the majority of the games that I've played. So it was definitely a good formation for me to use. In that video, I do also talk about what sort of players I would use in each position, and I do criticize this team a little bit more. Like I said, when I was talking about Andre and De Jong, I think that I would be better off having one of them and not both of them. I think they both play the CDM role better than they play the centre mid role. And whilst I think Wijnaldum's really nice, I think he's more of the box-to-box player, and that I would be better off having another cam, a more creative midfielder in there as well. Someone like Talisca. So that will be the next video up on the channel. I'm trying out some different videos and seeing what people like, what people want. If you enjoy that video, then yeah, let me know if you'd like to see more sort of custom tactics reviews of other people's tactics. I'm not the greatest at creating my own. I tend to use other people's base tactics and then adjust things here and there to find out what I like the most, find out what suits me. So I definitely enjoy trying out what people come up with, and I guess the funkier the better for those. So yeah, let me know if you like those. The next video is also already recorded, the second half of the Weekend League. I did that as a live commentary due to popular demand. A lot of people in the comment sections said that they really liked it, so I've gone and done that again. So I hope that you guys enjoy that. In this video, there are only 3 games remaining. You can see we come up against Kylian Mbappe, Ben Yedder, Semedo, Van Dijk, Ake. And I will say the big problem I found this weekend was that I came up against the same players over and over again. If you follow me on Twitter, you'll know that I tweeted about it, and I also retweeted other people talking about it as well. I pretty much faced one of either Mbappe, Neymar, Dembele, Rashford, Alan St-Maximin, Mendy, Varane, Gomez, or Van Dijk in pretty much every single game I played. And I must say, it was quite boring. I tried to build a team here that was away from the meta because I wanted it to be interesting. That's why I put Koscielny in the team. That's why I put Andre in, Kamara. That's why I played with Bamba and Depay. Players that wouldn't be used necessarily in people's starting 11 other than for chemistry. I actively chose to use them because I wanted it to be interesting and I didn't want the game to be stale. I had a lot of fun using a non-meta tactic and a non-meta team, and I won the majority of my games. And I'm not the best player in the world by far. So I just miss the old days back on like FIFA 13 where you could use any player you want for the sake of it because they play for your team, because they're a cool player, just because you can. Whereas now everyone has to use the best players that they possibly can. And it's why strikers such as Harry Kane, Lewandowski, Suarez, you just don't see them used. Even though they're some of the best players in the world in real life, you just don't see them. And it's just, yeah, constantly the same players. And this game hasn't even been out a month yet. And the opponents that I keep coming up against, it just feels a little bit stale already. So let me know what sort of things you would like me to do to make sure that this doesn't feel quite so stale. As we come up against another team with Neymar, Kante, Son and Kante I see a lot as well. And I think I mentioned Rashford in the last comment as well. It's the same players. So this is why I did the silver challenge, was so that I had a different team to everyone else so that it was an entertaining video. And a lot of people really enjoyed it. So I'm thinking I might do another silver challenge next weekend. Possibilities of playing Moise Kean and Akinfenwa up top. I've managed to build a team that can get Akinfenwa in on full chemistry. I'm just struggling to get Moise Kean in on chemistry. I also want to see who the other Silver Beast player is going to be, so we can get as many good Silver players in the team as possible, because we did do very well last time. We got Gold 2. We had a few games remaining. Probably could have pushed for Gold 1, but I always seem to leave my games a little bit too late. So I want to give myself the absolute best chance possible for pushing on for a good result. I think we would be very, very lucky to get Elite 3 with a silver team, but Gold 1 is more than possible. So just let me know if you think that would be interesting, or if you'd rather see me play with a gold team that isn't meta, but is also just interesting, doesn't include any meta players, and we just have some fun with that, try out some of the new cards. I am thinking in terms of challenges, I'd quite like to do the club challenge as well. So effectively just pick a team that could be Tottenham, it could be Bayern Munich, it could be Sheffield Wednesday, anybody that you wanted. Obviously, the players probably wouldn't be so bad. I guess it's a different challenge because with the silver team, I can pick players that have those good stats in those positions, whereas sometimes the silver players are better than the gold players. So it would still be a challenge, but a different type of challenge. Just let me know if what you'd want to see. I think with the club one, what could be a good idea is that I do like a league table and then we can see which club has the best team. But I kind of want to wait for a few more special cards to get in the game before I start picking them, so that we have some slightly more interesting teams. I don't just use their base gold cards all the time. And I also need to get some more coins myself because compared to everyone else, I feel like I definitely have a lot less. So I really need to get grinding and get trading. And I think, yeah, that's why silver team might be a more ideal solution because they're actually quite cheap as well. And as we've already proven, I can get gold too with a silver team. So it doesn't really matter what team I play with. As you can see, we are into the 15th game in this video, the final game, and Alison Maximan is running in on goal. Get a really nice tackle here with Kamara, but he still manages to play the ball into Mbappe, and that gives our opponent the lead after coming from 2-1 down. We have a free kick here, and we do a really nice set piece. We send Talisca on the run, and he manages to cut inside and score on the right foot. That gives us the lead. Here at the end, we have Salah playing down the right-hand side. He's looking to get the ball into the middle. He gets it into Bale. Bale gets on his left foot. And I have no idea how he missed that. That was a criticism I was talking about earlier. He just missed some really weird chances. And then here, I make the biggest defensive error possible. I try and pass it between my centre-backs. And Mbappe intercepts it. He was way too close. And I mess up that final game there. There were a few games where we got unlucky. Obviously, we won 12, we lost 3. I feel like on a different day, we could have won all 3 of those games that we lost, and we could quite easily be 15-0 now, but we're not. It isn't the end of the world. We can go on and still get Elite 3, and that's what we're going to try and do in the next video. So thank you very much for watching. My name is Bearridge, and I will catch you all next time.